From Montana's news leader, this is the MTN Noon News.
Good afternoon. I'm Augusta McDonnell. Miller Robson has our forecast in a few, but first let's get right to our top story. Roughly 1,000 people gathered to protest and march for the protection of public lands in Missoula Sunday. MTN's Zach Volheim was there and has this full report.
On Sunday, roughly 1,000 people marched in support of public lands, beginning in McCormick Park and marching to Karas Park and back. The March for Our Public Lands protest began at 11 a.m. on Sunday, with several speakers, including Democratic Missoula lawmakers, marking the start of the protest. The speakers set the stage for what the protesters saw as issues they wished to stand up against.
You know, we face difficult times, right? We have people who don't believe in following the law, don't believe in the passion of the workforce that goes out and cares for our public domain, our public commons. We always use the term public lands, but I also love the term public commons. They belong to all of us.
Last month, thousands of U.S. Forest Service and National Park Service employees were fired from their positions by the Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE. While many of the firings are being challenged in court, protesters say the move is detrimental to federal public lands.
By taking away the people who take care of the land, it's going to open it up for potentially private sale or turning the land over to the states, which could then lead to private sale, which is not what we're trying to do.
While the federal cuts have been controversial, the Trump administration states that it is part of their goal to optimize government operations and eliminate inefficiencies. But for protesters in Missoula, Sunday's march was a way to show that the people want to take back the political narrative.
I feel like just because there's so many other people that are passionate about it, me as well, and I think it's an important turning point in history that we need to have out there.
Organizers of the protest urge protesters to call their elected representatives, whether that's in the Montana state legislature or the federal congressional delegation. In Missoula, I'm Zach Volheim, MTN News.
We got a cold front kind of working its way from north to south coming out of Canada. You can see it's affecting some of the areas along the High Line. Havre sitting at about 31 right now. We're down to 29 at Cut Bank. Hasn't quite made its way down south yet. You can see we got some 50s and 60s southern parts of Montana, but those temperatures will cool down a little bit as we get into this evening, and it gets cold enough we actually may see a little bit of snow in south central parts of Montana. We are seeing some snow around Missoula right now. Still warm enough where we have around Jordan, even Miles City, Glendive, Baker City. You may see a few drops of rain. Could transition to some snow later tonight. Really the big story, look at those winds, some really strong winds. Some areas gust up to 70 miles an hour possible today. Where? I'll let you know coming up.
The Montana Legislature's 69th session has hit its first major deadline. That was Friday, the last day for the House and Senate to advance bills that don't spend state money or affect revenues. MTN senior political reporter Jonathan Ambarian heard from Republicans and Democrats in the legislature about what they see as the biggest accomplishments for them the first half of the session.
Well, things are significantly quieter here at the state capitol than they have been. Montana lawmakers are on their way home for a week-long break after completing the work of voting on hundreds of bills that needed to either pass their first chamber by Friday's deadline or die. The Senate was the first to get done, meeting Thursday night to vote on their last batch of more than 50 bills before the transmittal deadline.
Enjoy your break.
The House returned Friday morning with a lengthy agenda of their own.
Order business number 8, third reading of bills. And here we go.
Representatives spent more than an hour taking final votes on 147 bills.
House Bill 610 has passed the House.
That is all, Mr. Speaker.
Republicans hold the majority in the House and Senate, and House Majority Leader Steve Fitzpatrick of Great Falls told me he was pleased with the progress they made in the first half of the session, advancing bills on issues like property tax reform, responding to the state Supreme Court's Held decision, and what he called conservative social values.
I'm proud of our caucus. I'm proud of the work the House has done as a whole. I'm proud of the way we've conducted ourselves. I think we've run a legislature where we've been able to come in and debate the hottest controversial topics of the day, and we've done it in a way that I feel is respectful.
At a news conference after the House adjourned, House Minority Leader Katie Sullivan, a Democrat from Missoula, said she felt the majority had put too much emphasis on those social issues. But she was proud of places where her members were able to work with Republicans to advance their priorities, including property tax proposals, education funding, and the bill renewing the Medicaid expansion program.
It's never been lost on us that our time here is precious. We only have 90 days, we're halfway done, and we're just going to continue drilling down on affordability and taxes for people.
The Senate is set to return briefly next Friday, March 14th, and then continue their work in earnest on Saturday the 15th. The House will be on break through Monday, March 17th. In Helena, Jonathan Ambarian, MTN News.
As lawmakers hit the mid-session break, a second Senate leader is in the hot seat over a contract he made before the session convened. After a hearing on an ethics complaint against Republican Jason Ellsworth, lawmakers voted Thursday to refer Senate President Matt Regier to the Legislative Audit Division. The decision comes after lawmakers learned about his hiring of a private attorney as his personal counsel while serving as Speaker of the House in 2023. Regier, not expecting the move, called any accusations of impropriety in the hiring, quote, completely false and a witch hunt. Republican Senator Daniel Zolnikov of Billings made the motion to forward the issue to the Audit Division.
Mr. President, these are many of the same issues raised in the matter involving Senator Ellsworth. Since we referred Senator Ellsworth to ethics, it only makes sense we begin a similar investigation into the current president of the Senate as well.
This would be consistent with the process that the former president went through, as we should attempt to stay consistent. Let the audit do the report and let him do the findings. That would be intellectually honest and consistent.
Regier told reporters after the Senate adjourned these accusations are politically motivated, that everything he did was 100% legit, and he expects to be fully exonerated by the Legislative Audit Division. The Montana Ag Network is recognizing both Women's History Month and National Agriculture Month this March by profiling inspiring women in Montana agriculture. MTN's Tom Wiley introduces us to one of the youngest rodeo queens in the nation, who's on a mission to inspire fans and spread kindness wherever she goes.
At pro rodeos across Montana, you'll see plenty of high-profile athletes in the arena. They're world champions. They're heroes to some, but the most heroic person at this particular rodeo in Great Falls is a 9-year-old girl.
Here you go!
As rodeo fans stream out of the arena,
do you want one?
They're greeted by Elena Hutchings.
You make my heart happy.
Who comes bearing gifts.
You're welcome.
She and her family are handing out stick horses to every child in attendance.
Yep, you can have one.
She brightens their day and only asks for one thing in return.
I love it when I see everyone smile.
It's personal for Elena. A few years ago, she didn't have much to smile about.
Elena was diagnosed with an inoperable brain tumor and she's 6. Her brain tumor, there's nothing they could do for it. She doesn't qualify for chemo radiation because her brain tumor is embedded in her brainstem.
Thank you, everyone, for a present and a prayers.
Elena spent a lot of time at the hospital during COVID lockdowns, away from home and away from her family.
I was not happy there. I wanted to go home right now because I missed my brother. I missed my animals. I really missed my house. I missed everything.
And she's made it her mission to make sure no one feels the way she did, planning to visit 50 children's hospitals in 50 states to distribute toys.
We only want to do that to help the kids to be happy for they don't be left out, because some, like, pretend there's like 10 kids and they have 9 toys and one can get left out. We want to give them more for all of them can get more supported.
Elena's efforts caught the attention of rodeo royalty.
Put it to the pile.
And it led to a new title, Little Miss Rodeo Universe. And that allowed Elena a new way to share her gifts, even the ones you can't see.
Because I lost my daughter too, so.
Oh my goodness, I'm sorry.
You do something fun. Buy yourself whatever you want.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Okay.
When she was diagnosed, we were like any other parent. You know, you're scared, you don't know what to do. You want more answers, but there is none. But Lily, when it comes down to the bottom of it, The only answer is for that kid to live her life at the fullest every day.
We got a stage to go!
Tom Wiley, MTN News.